Hello YouTubers, what you are watching now is a short tutorial of my pressure point sanding applicator. This is a 1x1 piece of wood that has been cut at 45 degrees. The edges have been rounded off. It is 3 1/8 in inches. The tallest part is 3 1/8 inches in length. And the reason for this is because if it were any further out, the arm would be putting pressure further than where you're actually able to control it to get a smooth, even sanding surface. I've experimented, and the length is from 3 to 5 inches is what I was comfortable with, but for me I made it so it was just slightly more than 3 inches. And the way I did that, I just had it and I held the bottom of the board and I just felt where the pressure was within it prior to actually nailing this 1/4 inch piece on. And the 1/4 inch piece is just a little aid in keeping myself from basically hurting myself if I decided to go ahead and use the rotary sander that I have. Basically it's just a guard. But the whole thing is it actually enables me to have better control of the block. And the way I'm standing here, I have the area marked with the magic marker, or the permanent marker I should say, and I'll just go ahead and clean it off quickly just to make sure that the marks are still there, because I want them to be there. So they're very faint but not completely removed, because they will be sanded down with a very light sanding with a more fine grit. So then when I put subsequent layers of the fiberglass on, it'll have just a slighter smoother surface for the subsequent layers, and there won't be as much of a bleed through with that texture. Having bleed through of the texture for subsequent layers of fiberglass makes it so you just have to do more work. Obviously you don't want it to be perfectly smooth, because that makes it so that the resin doesn't really want to stick. You don't want it sliding off the surface, you want it to adhere, but you don't want to be making it so you have more work for yourself by having a rougher surface, which will make it so you have more time in sanding and possibly having to add more resin to bring that level area back to where you need it. So then when you're doing your gel coat, you'll have the surface, so basically you're just making it so you're cutting out a lot of work. It's just a little technique that I learned by doing this. It's trial and error kind of thing. And this right here, what I'm showing you, is not an X. It is actually a K, because I wrote OK, since this is actually a point where within the mold itself it was a high surface that I did not notice. So then when I did the layup of the fiberglass, it actually made a indentation. So I'll just be going ahead and putting some chop strand with the resin in there before I do the overlay of the subsequent layers of fiberglass and bring that area back level. And these areas here with the X's and lines directly in the center, those are actually X's that denote that the surface needs to be added below the surface, and all the X's with no line below are areas that need to have the area added on to the outside of the hood. And these dashes, what look like dashes, are actually minus, meaning I need to add material to the back of the hood, yet I need to sand down. I need to remove this top surface and bring the contour where it matches from right to left, so then everything will match with the front bumper cover. And what I'm showing you now is the 3M ergonomic sanding block. And those are the tools I use for this. Thank you for watching.